Hey guys, and welcome back to Mad About Skin. In today's video, we're going to discover the world's best peptide serum. This is part of a series that I'm running here on the channel, where instead of just sharing my favourites, I actually look at the products objectively. We have a scoring mechanism and we apply it equally across a range of different products in a specific category to work out which is truly the best of the best. I've already covered vitamin C's, retinoids and sunscreen, and if you've missed any of those, I've pulled them together in a playlist which I'm going to leave a link to up there. Today though is the turn of peptides. I love a good peptide fix in my skincare routine. They can brighten the complexion, they can plump out the skin, they can even have some great anti-aging collagen boosting benefits. So I want you to sit back, relax, let's discover the world's best peptide. Now, before we get into this video, I would love to know what your own thoughts, feelings and opinions are on anything mentioned in today's video. So sound off in the comments section below. What is your current go-to peptide serum of choice? If you're like me, you like the channel and you love a good peptide fix in your skincare routine, don't forget to reach down and give this video a big thumbs up and a like. The last two videos in this series have got over 1,000 likes, which honestly is like mind-blowing. So if you're enjoying this series, don't forget to just do me a quick favour and give this video a thumbs up. I've got quite a lot to get through in this video, so I'm going to keep this intro super short, sharp and to the point, cut that waffle and delve straight on in. Now, for today's video, I've chosen the best-selling peptide serums on the market. They might not be my favourites, they might not be what I would call holy grails, but it's the ones that you guys are reaching for most frequently when it comes to making your peptide purchase. This way, I think, these are quite accessible across the world, so if you did want to get your hands on any of the products, these should be relatively easy to find. We're going to have 4 scoring criteria today. First up, formulation. Let's be honest, a product is only as good as the formulation and the ingredients that have gone into it. We're then going to move on to application and performance. Did it actually deliver and how did it feel on the skin? We're then going to cover off price point, which is really important because I don't just mean the cheapest gets the highest score, but if the brand is asking us to pay a little extra for their product, are we getting some extra for that additional hard-earned coin? Then finally, we're going to talk about transparency. How open are the brands about the peptides that we're going to get, the benefits we're going to see from them, and the concentrations that are held within the product? This is something that matters a lot to me because I think, in 2022, brands should be a little bit more open and transparent with us so we truly know what we're putting on our skin. We're going to score each one of these criteria out of 10 for a grand total of a score out of 40. Previously, I've kind of just done it in any old order, but in today's video, based on your guys' feedback, I'm going to start with the lowest scoring first, then build up to the highest scoring at the end, which hopefully will just make it a little bit easier for you guys to follow. I've also linked all the products mentioned in the description box below, so if you want to check them out for yourself, it's all there for your convenience. Now, shall we delve in? Unfortunately, starting off with the lowest scoring of all the peptides I'm talking about today, and it's this, the inkey Collagen Peptide Serum. Now, this used to be called the inkey Collagen Booster Serum and was one of my first peptide products that I included in my skincare routine. Unfortunately, as with a lot of the inkey products, the more you know, the less impressed you are with the formulation. So let's start off with the ingredients used. This has a couple of peptides held within it, which, whilst that's not a super high number, the concentration is relatively good here. I also like the fact that they've used quite simple base ingredients, let the peptides just shine through. It will hydrate the skin. It will also give that immediate plumping, which, I think a lot of us crave. We like those quick wins. Overall, though, there's nothing spectacular in this formulation to elevate it from just a standard serum, which is why I'm going to give it a good, solid 7 out of 10. In terms of application, I'm again going to give this a 7 out of 10. It's not the worst product, but it does leave a slight film on the skin and some tackiness and residue with it. It goes onto the skin like a water-based gel, which is quite a nice initial texture, but I find of all of the serums, this is the one that you have to leave on the skin the longest time to let it sink in. And if you're in a rush on a morning, you want to do your skincare routine and get out the door, this kind of isn't going to be the product for you. If you don't leave it to sink in long enough, it kind of goes a bit tacky and sticky, and there is that risk of it pilling and balling up, which I'm not all about. So, not the worst application, but I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. You get that initial plumping, which I like from the performance, but I would question the long-term benefits you're going to see with this product. In terms of the price point, 8 out of 10. This is £10 here in the UK. It used to be like £6.50, but there's a lot of inflation in the world right now, and the English have put the prices up of their product range, but I don't think it's still too excessive in terms of what they're looking to charge for this formulation. I think it's a very fair price point. Now, finally, let's come on to transparency, which is once again where this brand lets itself down. I'm giving this, and I'm being generous, a 2 out of 10. When you hear collagen peptide serum, you think peptides in here that are going to boost the levels of collagen in the skin, right? Well, not with the inkey list. What this product actually claims to do is kind of mimic the additional collagen results in the skin in a temporary basis. So it's going to smooth out the skin, it's going to give a little bit of a plumpness and a hydration in the short term, but there's no peptides in here that in the long term are going to increase the rate of collagen production. Super deceptive, and this is actually why they were called out originally. I had to change the name from the collagen boosting serum to the collagen peptide serum, because in no way will this boost the levels of collagen in your skin. Super deceptive, and the inkey list are back to their old tricks again. So I think I've been super generous giving this a 2 out of 10 for transparency. They don't tell you the percentages, you don't know the concentrations, and they're claiming something which I think is just a bit misleading. So some total of 24 out of 40, and this is the lowest scoring of all the popular peptides I'm testing. Now, after that little bit of a disappointing moment, let's now switch to the Ordinary Buffet. This is a super popular peptide and one of the best selling on the market. This is the only The Ordinary peptide that I'm including in this video because I thought, I don't want to bamboozle the entire video with products from The Ordinary. Let's just focus on what is their best selling peptide, which is this by a country mile. So let's start with the formulation. 7 out of 10. Really great blend of different peptides that are going to give a nice range of benefits. You're going to get some instant plumpness and hydration. In the long term, you're going to get some boosting to the levels of collagen in the skin. And in time, it will help to even out the skin's complexion. I think this is a really nice blend of different peptides to give you kind of all the results you want in one standalone serum. The only reason I'm scoring this 7 out of 10 for formulation is because unfortunately they also use castor oil and some other ingredients in here that could clog the pores and exacerbate any breakouts. They don't really make this clear, so if like me you've got super oily acne prone skin, you've reached for this product, you suddenly find you're breaking out and you kind of wonder why. I think they could achieve the same great blend of peptides without those ingredients that could clog the skin, which is why I'm knocking them a few marks off. When it comes to performance and application, 7 out of 10 again. Glides onto the skin, feels great, the performance is definitely there, instant plumpness to the skin, and in the long term you'll get those collagen boosting benefits. The only reason this isn't scoring a higher mark here is because of that potential to break the skin out and clog the pores. This could happen to a whole suite of different skin types, and so I think they could just go back to the drawing board to make this a better user experience by removing some of those potentially problematic ingredients. Price point, 10 out of 10. It's The Ordinary. It's a beautifully affordable blend of peptides, and when you think of the number of peptides you're getting here and the concentrations of them for the price point, I think that is more than fair. Finally, we're going to come on to transparency. A 9 out of 10. Again, I think they tell you the concentrations and they tell you what each individual peptide will do. That's great because as consumers, I think we should be as informed as possible, but I'm knocking the 1 mark off because I think they could call out how this could be potentially problematic for oily acne prone skin types. I think that level of transparency would have taken them to a 10 out of 10. So I'm only knocking 1 point off for a 9 out of 10 for transparency. Overall, 33 out of 40, and you'll see there's a huge difference between the 24 that the inkey list scored and the 33 that the Ordinary Buffet scored. Just such a better product. Now, shall we move on to this product, the NIOD Copper Amino Isolate Serum. Now, before I applied these objective criteria to this summary of different peptides, I would have probably said this was the best of the best, which is actually why I think doing this series and this exercise is actually really beneficial, because when you actually apply these different criteria to it, this is much more middle of the pack than maybe I expected it to be. But let's start off with the formulation. 10 out of 10. This divine. Just formulation alone, this is the best peptide serum. However, you've got to take the other factors into consideration. The reason I love this is not only is it packed full of great collagen boosting peptides alongside some others that are going to hydrate the skin, plump it out, and also give some evenness to the complexion, but they've also thought about the way that this is transported into the skin. You have formulated this with different ingredients and some really advanced technology to make sure that the maximum amount of peptides get to where they need to be in the skin in order to deliver those fantastic benefits. When we apply other peptide serums to the skin, we actually waste a lot of those peptides because they just don't get to where they need to be to deliver the benefits. You kind of minimize that risk of wastage with this product because that technology just makes sure that those peptides are hitting the mark every single time, which is why formulation, this is streets ahead of a lot of the other serums. Now, when we come on to application and performance, can't fault it. Definitely with long-term use, you've noticed that the skin is more taut, you get that firmness back, it minimizes fine lines and wrinkles, definitely evens the complexion out. That's all because of those collagen boosting peptides getting to where they need to be in the skin to deliver that benefit. However, I'm only giving this an 8 out of 10 in terms of application and performance because it is a little bit tricky to apply on the skin. Because this comes with a higher price point, which I'm going to come on to in a minute, you really don't want to be wasting any of that product. but it is super liquid and runny. I'm nearly at the end of this, so I'll see if I can get some of the product to show you. And it kind of slips and slides everywhere. It's got a beautiful colour, but it can be really difficult to work into the skin before it kind of evaporates. So it feels a little bit stress-inducing that you're trying to drop it onto the skin and work it in as quick as possible. So it's not the best user experience, but performance, you just can't fault them. When it comes to the price point, I'm going to give this a 7. Now, if you'd asked me this question, say, 2 years ago, this would have been a 10 out of 10. It's not always about reaching for the cheapest product. I don't mind paying a little more if I'm getting a little more for that price point, if that makes sense. And with this product, that used to always be the case. However, Decium have increased the price of NIOD products a couple of times in the last 2 years, and this means that I no longer think that this product is actually worth the high price point that it commands. Still a wonderful product, and if you have, a little extra money to invest in your skincare routine, this is a wonderful option. But I'm knocking a few points off and taking it to a 7 out of 10 because I think, there's been one price rise too many that means I start to question whether this is actually value for money anymore. When it comes to transparency, 9 out of 10. Wonderful level of transparency with this product. NIOD really break it down to explain why this is such a special investment and kind of worthy of that higher price point. They explain the different peptides used, the technology to really direct those to where they need to be in the skin, and I love that. I knocked one point off because I think NIOD can bamboozle us with science just a little bit. It's not the easiest for just like the layman to understand. You have to sometimes, bring up Wikipedia, Google certain terms, so it could be a little bit more accessible, but still a really fair 9 out of 10. That's given us some total of 34 out of 40. Now, we have 2 other peptides. Honestly, I expected NIOD to be leading the field when I really started to research this video, but there are 2 peptides that I think overall actually perform better. Next up is the Paula's Choice Peptide Booster Serum. So 10 out of 10 for formulation. This comes with 8 different peptides, which are one of the highest amounts that you'll actually find on the market. It's got some beautiful base ingredients to nourish, hydrate and plump out the skin. It's just all around a wonderful formulation. I'm going to give them a 9 out of 10 in terms of performance and application. It's really hard to pick fault with this. It just feels so good. But I will say on some skin types this can leave a slight film and a residue, which is why they're using one mark. But honestly, it delivered some collagen boosting benefits, it plumped out the skin, it deeply hydrated, and all around it was a really gorgeous product to use. Paula's Choice often let themselves down with the price point, and I'm going to be awarding this a 6 out of 10. Again, I don't mind paying a little bit more to get a little bit more, and that's definitely the case with this product. But I think, price rise after price rise after price rise means that the £60 that they're now charging for this just seems a little bit high, a little bit steep for what the brand is actually delivering. Though, if you love Paula's Choice and you want to get a really good peptide serum, this obviously will deliver. I think that price point is just a little bit too high these days. Finally, for transparency, 10 out of 10. Honestly, just amazing. You go onto the Paula's Choice website, every single peptide is listed with the benefits and how it delivers that benefits. Like, that level of transparency is, I think, what a lot of other brands should aspire to. I love this, and I couldn't give them any less out than 10 out of 10 for it, for a grand total of 35 out of 40. Now, 35 out of 40 is a pretty high score, so it'll be pretty difficult to beat, but there is one product, and honestly, this is a total left field. I didn't expect to enjoy this product as much as I did, and this is the henriksen Strength Trainer Moisturizer. Now, I don't really shop this brand at all. They do a lot of sponsorships with big content creators, and sometimes I feel that can kind of cloud people's judgment. I'd rather, good products be spread by word of mouth rather than paid for endorsements and sponsorships. However, that doesn't mean that products can't be great. The products I've tried from the line have been a bit with the exception of this peptide cream. Honestly, divine. So let's start with the formulation. This is getting a 10 out of 10. 8 different peptides on a par with the Paula's Choice one, but you also get 3 different ceramides, which is fantastic to boost the barrier health. You've got some free fatty acids in here and cholesterol to really double down on the benefits of those ceramides. You've got a little niacinamide in a really nice concentration, and you've got some other fantastic ferments to brighten the skin and deeply hydrate. All around, one of the best moisturizers I've ever used, and those 8 peptides are going to pay so many dividends in the long term because it's a really nice mix and blend. For application and performance, again, 10 out of 10. Can't fault it. Glides onto the skin, feels like the most lightweight moisturizer when you think of how, active packed it actually is, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Instant plumping, long-term benefits, just a wonderful product. In terms of the price point, this comes in at £40, but again, it's getting a 10 out of 10 because this is definitely a case of paying a little more and getting a whole lot more. You know, if you think you had to buy like a ceramide moisturizer and a separate really good quality peptide serum, you'd be paying way more than £40. This is definitely worth it for the ease, convenience, that beautiful application. The only thing that lets it down is the transparency. Giving this 7 out of 10. You know, they're not that clear on what each of the peptides do. You know, you can find that out for yourself, but I'd like them to be a little bit more transparent on the website. And they do have a little bit, like 100% of the women tested said that this did this kind of surveys, which I don't like. It's not scientific and it's pretty naff. So they're getting a few marks knocked off for that, but 37 out of 40. This is truly the ding 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 holy grail, and I didn't think I'd be saying that about this brand. I would say if you can afford this sort of investment for a moisturizer, this is like a dash out, get it, try it, you will love it style product. So there you have it, guys, the world's best peptide serum. Are you as surprised as I am? Sound off in the comments section below, and wherever you are in the world, guys, stay safe, stay well, love your skin. Take care, bye.